Hello, and welcome to the Office of Residential Life's video on housing and room selection. For this process, I am going to go through with you step by step on how to get through your housing and residential life room application. Now, first off, this video, it should be helpful and useful to any students going through our process, whether you are an incoming first-year student or whether you are a returning student to our process. Today, we're going to be going through all of the steps. You also can find most of this information available through our website. So if you have any specific or additional questions or concerns, feel free to refer there or by emailing us at housing@adelphi.edu. First and foremost, we're starting today by being on our main homepage. So this is just when you go to adelphi.edu. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to your eCampus, which is a button right here at the top of the screen. Now, as you can see, my eCampus went straight into my services. You will need to log in the first time that you do this, but if you're a returning student, you will automatically be logged straight into your document. Now, on this page, there are lots of useful things that you're going to be able to see and lots of useful little tools. Today, what we're going to be going to is our housing section and assignments. This is our central hub for room selection and housing assignment information. Once I click here, it's going to ask for an additional login through our portal. So you'll click on that button there, and you'll be logged right in. So here on the homepage, you'll see various different pieces of information. This talks about our housing application, room selection information, and all various sorts of info. Up here on the top bar is really what you're going to be looking for, and you're going to scroll all the way over to academic year housing application. Once here, you're going to select which application you're looking for. So here you can see both applications for both our current ongoing year as well as the selection process for our upcoming year. We do have rolling admissions, which means we are always accepting applications as long as we have spaces available. You will want to select on the upcoming year application for the year appropriate for you. So before we go into the entire application, you'll see here on the left side of the bar are all the different pieces of our application. All of these pieces do need to be completed in full in order for you to complete your housing application. You do not need to complete them all at once, but please note that your entire application will not be complete until every single piece has been filled in. So for now, we're going to start right here at the beginning, the start of the application. This page speaks to all the current processes for the application year. I am not going to read through the entire document, but I do encourage you to read through this page before proceeding, as it does have important dates to this upcoming academic year for our process. Please note that all room selections are final. So once you've started this process and gone through and you do select a room, that is a final selection. If any room changes are needed to be requested, you can do so starting July 1st. That is true for any summer process. Once a selection is made, it is final, and a room change request can be put on July 1st. So you'll click here, save and continue to go to the next step. Here we have our most up-to-date residence hall agreement. This document is also available to you through the housing website, but we do encourage you to read through the entire document as you are agreeing to certain guidelines and processes according to the Adelphi University page. So this includes our guide to student life, our university publications, and our code of conduct. So please read through all of these documents before you're signing your name to it. It is a little bit of a lengthy document, which is why it's also available on the website to read prior to you filling it out here. Once you have gotten to the bottom of the agreement here and have read through it thoroughly, you will enter in your 7-digit student ID number, as you see me doing here, in order to sign the document. Once you have signed that agreement, you will then be brought to our next section, which is our roommate matching profile questions. So this questionnaire is filled out by every student who goes through the housing selection process. The use and purpose of this is twofold. First off, if you do not already know the person that you'd like to room with, this is a great way to find other people who have answered the questions listed here similarly and hopefully can find a person who you may be compatible with. In addition, this is also a space that housing uses. So if you are unable to complete all of the deadlines for the housing selection process and we do select a space for you, we do utilize this questionnaire to ensure that the person that we have signed you with has similar beliefs within the categories that we have listed here. So some of those include in the questionnaire, are you a smoker? Not that smoking is ever allowed within the building or in the room, but it does speak to a lifestyle choice. And so it may be something that you are or are not comfortable within the space. How often do you clean your room? When you prefer to go to bed? When you typically wake up? And how comfortable you would be having overnight guests within your space. You then want to put your web screen name in. If you have your name as your regular name here, whatever you may have on profile with us here at Adelphi, or you may put in a preferred name or a nickname if you'd like. Please note that this is what people are searching for. So if you have a person that you'd prefer to room with, please make sure they know your web screen name or which name that you would like to are putting in there, so that way they can find you more easily. You're also welcome to include any kind of additional description you'd like for your roommate profile that other students will be able to see. The most important part of this process is, do you wish to be visible in the roommate portal? We do have the default for it checked. If you do not wish to be visible, meaning you do not wish for others to be able to see you within the portal, you may uncheck this if you wish. What may make things more difficult is then other people may not be able to find you in order to find an appropriate roommate based off of this questionnaire. From there, you'll click Save and Continue. Here, we speak to our special residential communities. We have 4 to 5 various communities, depending on whether you're an incoming or a returning student. We highly encourage that you click on the link here to be able to read more information based off those communities, as some of our processes may be dependent on which community you choose to select. I won't go through all of the different kinds within this space, but please click on that link there or visit our website to learn more. If you are looking for a desired community, you click this button, Add, and it will offer up the first order, and you can select which community you are interested in. So let's say I'm interested in the Greek Life and Social Fellowship. Then you would click OK, and that would be selected there. Be aware that some communities, if you select into, will trigger for housing to select a space for you, as those spaces are not going to be available during our typical process. So for instance, if I click Add, and I clicked Honors College Suites, and I am an Honors College student, you then will be put through a separate process after you've completed this application, in which our assistant director who oversees our Honors College community will reach out to you separately about selection. You will not be able to see any Honors College housing spaces within our typical selection process. This is true of a few of our housing processes, so make sure to be clicking on that web page here, so that way you know which community you are preferring. Going to delete that preference here, but you can list as many as you'd like, add up to 2 or more. Then you click Save and Continue. Here lists our different meal plan options. Now, please note that I am going through this process as a returning student, which means I'm able to see all different various types of meal plans. Depending on whether you're an incoming student and or an athlete, may change or modify which plans are available for you to select at that time. This does list the current prices for this current academic year, but you can always look for more information about the meal plans or what this information is referring to through our website linked here. So based on the options that you can see available, you'll select here and click the meal plan that is most appropriate to both your financial situation as well as what you think your meals will look like here on campus. And then save and continue. Here is where you can select your room preference. So this would include both your building and potential room type that you would prefer. Now, please note that this is simply a list of preferences and does not select the room you want. The reason for having this page is that if you miss any of our deadlines, the housing office will be placing you based off of these room preferences placed here, as well as what may be available at that time. So you can click here, and this goes through all the various rooms and room types that are available through the housing process. Please be sure to add them in order of desirability, so that way we are able to see based off what is available at that time, what we can do. So for instance, if my first choice is a room in Residence Hall A as a triple room, but by the time that I get through the process, let's say that is no longer available as all of those slots are filled, my next choice may be Eddy Hall, a double room with AC. And so I've listed those now in priority. And then I click Save and Continue. This tab here is now for your roommate preference. So the really useful thing about these pieces here, this shows that I have not selected any desired roommates, is that we can search for a desired roommate based off that questionnaire that we filled out in the beginning. So there are 3 different ways to do that. The first is to search for roommates by details. So this is why it's really important to let your friends know what your web screen name is. So you'll be able to select this, and you can search for a specific person by either their first or their last name. The next is to search for roommates based off their roommate profile. So this is to specifically search for roommates based off maybe specific questions. So if you want to ensure you find someone who goes to bed after 10 p.m., you're able to search for any other students who marked that way within their questionnaire. Lastly, this tool can suggest roommates to you, again, based off that questionnaire response data. So it will pull a percentage score based off how you answered and other students answered their questionnaires. And when it pulls it up, it will show you have a 90% match with this person, a 95% match with this person, an 80% match with this person. And based off that, you can request to be with particular people based off those percentage matches. At this time, I'm not going to click into any of those details, as since other students have not filled out this application yet, we would not be able to see any data, but it lists right here exactly what information will be pulled based off whichever selection you'd like. Then you can go to the next page. So then lastly here will be your requested roommates. So again, this does not confirm selection of a room or roommate. You will have the option to search for the roommate on the page before. So again, this is an additional backup if you or the person you are looking to room with does not match or does not complete the deadlines in the manner in which we have asked. You will be able to select the name here, and we will take that into account when we are then placing students afterward. At this point, there is no more pieces to be added to the application, so you will click Save and Continue, and this will let you know to thank you for submitting. Once you have done all of these pieces and the applications are complete, when we get closer to the deadlines, you will receive an email letting you know that you will be getting a housing selection time slot. Once that slot has been selected, you will be able to, at that time, come back to the same application, and an additional bubble will populate in between these 2 bubbles here that says select your housing space. This is where you do get to go in and select the space either on behalf of yourself or on behalf of yourself and a roommate or 2, and select the space that you would like for the housing upcoming housing academic year. Please be aware, again, all selections are final, and the only opportunity for room change requests will be after that July 1st date, regardless of the year that you are in. At this point, that's all of the information about the housing selection process. We hope that this guide was easy for you to follow, and we look forward to seeing your application and your selection for the upcoming housing academic year. If you have any additional questions after this presentation, please do not hesitate to reach out to housing, either at our phone number, 516-877-3650, or through our housing email address, housing@adelphi.edu. Congratulations, and we hope you have a great upcoming year.